Okay, for today's video, we are reviewing the Safari Ltd Carnegie Collection Microraptor. This is a figure I'm super excited to get and review for a couple of reasons. Not only is it just genuinely a great Carnegie Collection figure that I needed for my collection, but it's also just one of those really great figures that shows you like how closely dinosaurs are to birds and that birds actually are dinosaurs, because Microraptor's one of those almost like transitional dinosaurs that really shows you the bird-like features and the dinosaur-like features. So I think it's a really, really cool animal, and this figure really represents those exact features. And I will quickly note on how I got this figure. It was actually part of a lot on eBay that had a few other figures, but the lot was taken down, but relisted with one of the figures removed, so I kind of assumed that the seller was sold one of the items individually, so I messaged the seller for the lot if I could get just the Microraptor because it was the only figure I needed in the lot, and they allowed me to do it. I don't think all sellers would allow you to take out one figure from a lot, but considering it looked like the seller had already done that, I think they were just fine with doing it again, so that's what I did. And the rest of the lot, there was nothing in it that I really wanted. It had some Carnegie figures, but they were ones I already had. And then there was this one weird-looking Jurassic Park-style Velociraptor, which I had no interest in because I didn't even know what brand it was, and it just didn't look that good to me. But the Microraptor was the figure I'd been wanting to get, and this one was in really good condition, so was definitely happy to get it. So we'll get into the animal information first. So Microraptor is actually one of the few dinosaurs we actually know the exact color of, or a good idea of the color. And unfortunately, it's not the color on this figure. The color, so based off the cell structure on the fossilized feathers, we know that Microraptor would have had an iridescent black, almost like a crow or raven. I'll show you a picture of a crow or raven right here so you all can see exactly what the colors should look like, or a very similar idea to what the colors should look like. And like I said, we know that this is the colors, or a very similar color scheme to this, just because the fossils preserved on Microraptor actually preserve the feathers, and based off the DNA structures in the feathers, we can determine that the colors were an iridescent black. And Microraptor actually has a very fitting name since it is a Microraptor, or a smaller dromaeosaur in the clade Microraptoria, with some other Microraptoria members like Hesperonychus and Sinornithosaurus, two other dromaeosaurs that happen to be Microraptoria members. But also being in the being a dromaeosaur, it's also related to some other famous dromaeosaurs like Velociraptor, as well as Deinonychus and Utahraptor. So Microraptor, like I said, that's why it does have a very fitting name, since it is a dromaeosaur, but it is one of the smaller ones, so Microraptor itself is just a very fitting name. And Microraptor lived in China in the early Cretaceous, in the, I'm probably going to butcher the name, but the Geofutang Formation, where it would have lived with other dinosaurs like Psittacosaurus, and some other dinosaurs like a very large Titanosaur, which we don't know the exact genus of that large Titanosaur just yet, but it did happen to live with a large Titanosaur in this formation in China. And Microraptor is believed to be capable of gliding, since using all of its limbs, both of its wings, both of its arm wings and its legs, as well as its tail, it would have been capable of gliding. It's not believed to be capable of powered flight right now, but the gliding is believed by paleontologists. And now I will get into the figure review itself. So obviously this figure does have one big inaccuracy, like I mentioned already. The colors, since this figure should be an iridescent black, but I believe when this figure was made, that discovery wasn't made yet, or the knowledge that that should have been the colors. I do really like this color scheme though. I love this orange and red, but like I said, it is inaccurate. And also one thing, and this is something I can't really tell for sure if it's an inaccuracy, but Microraptor should have teeth, and I can't tell if this figure just straight up lacks teeth, or they're in there but just really small. But Microraptor actually would have teeth, and this one might be just where it's lived, but Microraptor did have teeth, so if this figure doesn't have teeth, it should, but it might just be where it's lipped, or it might just be where the mouth is so small. But like I said, Microraptor actually should have teeth. And this figure is around 1/5 scale. One of the little catalogs I have says it's 1/5 scale, but then some of the stuff I've heard online says it's 1/3 scale. But either way, this is one of the largest scale figures I have, or smallest. I'm always confused when saying scale because like it's a smaller number, but it's actually, I think it is it's considered a bigger scale since it's larger. It's a larger size figure for the scale. I'm always confused with how to say it, but whatever scale it is, this figure is not that much smaller than an actual Microraptor. Microraptor is one of the smaller dromaeosaurs, or smaller dinosaurs in general, I should say. And I will compare it to one of the only other Microraptor figures I have. Unfortunately, this one is also inaccurate as far as the colors, and it is the Safari Ltd 2 Microraptor. This is a figure I've had for a while. It's a figure I genuinely really like as well, but once again, it is inaccurate. Just between accuracy, I don't know which one I would say is more inaccurate, but both obviously do unfortunately like that color. But one thing I do specifically really love about this figure is it's like very posable. Well, not posable. I can't think of the exact word, but you can put this in a lot of different positions on your shelf and it's going to look good because you can either have it standing on its tail, you can have it doing like a mid-air gliding pose, and it looks good just standing up like behind it like that. And it also looks, because like you get all those cool back feather colors, and it also just looks good like straight up. Honestly, this is one of the few figures that I actually really like from the back side better. I just think it looks really good like that with the colors and everything. But yeah, I really do love how this figure looks, but unfortunately, like I've said a couple of times, the colors just aren't the correct colors. But I don't really think that the colors on this figure are wrong due to it just being incorrect. I think for the time, we just weren't aware of the colors. So Safari, or the creator of this figure specifically, just wasn't aware of the correct colors at the time. So I don't really count it as a major inaccuracy for this figure just because I think at the time the figure was made, it wasn't really an inaccuracy. And although this figure does have the inaccuracies that I mentioned, I still think this is a really great figure that I'm super happy to add to my collection. And since this figure was released over 10 years ago, and it isn't the most accurate Microraptor available, there are some more accurate ones that are updated and are available now, like the updated Safari Ltd one, which I will insert an image of right now. And I will put a link to that updated Microraptor at the end of this video. I think that's a really great figure. I haven't picked it up yet. Definitely would like to pick it up in the future, but just haven't picked it up yet. But that figure does show off a better idea of what the colors should be on this figure. But since it is in the Carnegie line, it's not the easiest figure to get, like I was saying. And anymore, the prices range from around $10 to $20, and it's really only available on places like eBay or Mercari. And as far as I can find, or at least as far as I can find, maybe you can find some other website that I just haven't found it on yet, but as far as the stuff I've seen, eBay and Mercari are your best bet for finding this figure. But I did get mine in pretty good condition with shipping for around $13 on eBay, so I was very happy with it. And now I'll mention some of the featured documentaries that contain Microraptor. So Microraptor actually has appeared in multiple documentaries, like Prehistoric Park, where Nigel brings him back to his park. I can't remember if it's just one or a few, but he does happen to get a few for his park. The whole episode's actually dedicated to Microraptor and feathered dinosaurs. I will put an image here right now of what the Microraptor looked like in Prehistoric Park. And Microraptor also happened to appear in the documentary Planet Dinosaur, one of my personal favorites. And Prehistoric Park is obviously one of my favorites too. I actually had a whole video really recently about Prehistoric Park. But Planet Dinosaur is another favorite of mine. And this is what it looked like in that. And actually in that episode, it is actually hunted by one of the other figures we showed off in this video, the Sinornithosaurus. I don't really know for sure if Sinornithosaurus would have actually lived with Microraptor. They both lived in different formations, but around the same time. But there possibly was some formation that I just happened to miss information about, where they actually did coexist. But most of the formations I saw that had Microraptor didn't specifically state they had Sinornithosaurus. or vice versa, but there is a possible overlap between the two, and it is possible we just haven't found the fossils of them in the same formation yet. But Microraptor probably actually has appeared in more documentaries than those two that I just can't think of, but those are the only two that I'm for sure that it's in that I can for sure remember. So now we'll go over the featured figures. So obviously this is the Safari Ltd Carnegie Collection Microraptor, really great figure, like I've said already. We'll go over the other Carnegie figures. So this is the Safari Ltd Carnegie Collection Velociraptor. This is the Safari Ltd Carnegie Collection Psittacosaurus. Actually, that lot that this figure was in included the Psittacosaurus, but I already have two of this figure, so there's kind of no point to get another Psittacosaurus. And then the Carnegie Collection Deinonychus, recent pickup that I'm really happy about. Then we'll go to the other Safari Ltd figures. So this is in the regular line, the Utahraptor by Wild Safari. And then the two tube figures, which were in the Feathered Dinosaurs tube, the Sinornithosaurus and the other Microraptor I have. And then the only non-Safari figure actually in this video is the Walking with Dinosaurs Hesperonychus, the other Microraptoria member. But this is from the Walking with Dinosaurs movie series, and it's a figure of Hesperonychus, like I said. So overall, I think this is a really great figure, and although this figure isn't the most accurate Microraptor anymore, I still think it's easily... oh, I messed up. Although this figure isn't the most accurate Microraptor and isn't the easiest figure to get anymore, I still think it's a really great figure for the right collector, and I'm very happy to get it for the... I'm very happy to get a hold of it now. It's always been a figure I've always really liked, and now with my attempt at really completing the Carnegie collection really seeming really realistic actually now, and since it's been like a top priority for me the past year or so, it's just made sense to get it right now for the price I did. So I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'm so happy to finally have this figure. And I did just want to mention one little thing here. I know my videos lately have been like, for the last month or so, it's almost been like every other day, which I like doing that. I think that's almost the perfect upload schedule on YouTube, because a video every day is kind of hard for a creator to make, and it's kind of it kind of can get boring to somebody to see the exact same content every day, or the same content from a YouTuber every day. So I think spacing it out every 2 days or every other day was really good. But unfortunately with college and stuff, it's just kind of gotten harder to have time to record videos. I'm going to try to step it up though. I literally have like 3 boxes of stuff right beside me here of videos I can make, or over 3 boxes. But just with college, uploading stuff has kind of gotten harder a little bit lately. But I still obviously love uploading, so I'm going to try to upload as much as I can. Just with college, the upload schedule has kind of gotten a little bit less consistent, but I am at least going to try to upload once a week. And maybe if I have a weekend or something that I can upload or record a bunch of videos, I can get back to my regular upload schedule of once every 2 days, because I really do like doing that, because I think you all seem to do that, because a lot of our channel growth has happened during this span of every other day. But like I said, with college and stuff, it's just kind of gotten harder to upload that often. But I'm going to try to do it. It's just kind of harder. But once again, I want to thank you all so much for watching this video and all the other videos, and I'm out.